Well, that sucks.
Fuck you. You're a fucking wanker. We're gonna punch you right in the balls.
What are you still doing here? I told you it sucked. It sucked so hard, even George R. R. Martin hates it. I'm not even kidding. After the last season finale set up continuity errors big enough to change the course of the universe's own history, George R. R. Martin himself wrote a blog post about how ignoring the seemingly small details lead to plot holes. Then the writers have to invent new
ways of explaining
why it doesn't follow the books, or invent or delete characters, and from there on it devolves until you get an in-name only version. He called it the toxic butterfly effect. Rhaena gets Sheep Stealer. I was hoping they could pull a random character out of their ass and she'd be Sheep Stealer's real rider. I was hoping Rhaena would be seconds away from getting barbecued only to be stopped by some peasant girl who doesn't look Valyrian in the slightest. Goodbye all the interesting implications about how much Valyrian blood you need to tame a dragon, or if you need it at all, since Nettles looks like the opposite of a Valyrian. Of course, that doesn't rule out the possibility that she could have Valyrian heritage from a dragon seed ancestor. That's my headcanon. You have to have Valyrian blood, even if it's just a drop to bond with a dragon. It doesn't mean you absolutely will, it just means you can, whereas if you have zero Valyrian blood, you get roasted and gobbled up. Nettles has Valyrian blood, it's just been diluted over the years of mixing with the common peasants. That's why she doesn't have the looks, and since Rhaena gets Sheep Stealer, she'll never hatch Morning, the cute pink coquette dragon. On the road, Aegon and Larys get captured and recognized, and Larys quickly drops the act. Aegon has to give up the crown, so does that mean instead of Darren the young dragon losing the crown in Dorne, Aegon loses it? Oh, and this show might as well be renamed Rhaenyra and Friends at this point. It's all a humiliation ritual for the Tark Towers. Aegon even gets kicked in the nuts. We get it, Aegon bad, Rhaenyra good. I think a brick to the face would be more subtle. Also, on the road with the Hightower host, we get... Wait a minute, is that ginger supposed to be Darren? Why is Darren a ginger? I guess it's not impossible for a Targaryen to have hair colors other than silver, but you would think the maesters who wrote Fire and Blood, the source material the show is based on, would have mentioned it. They're pulling shit out of their asses again. George R. R. Martin was right. They're making random, out-of-nowhere changes. I get that book-to-screen changes are inevitable.
Even with a lot of changes, you can get an excellent adaptation.
Look at the Jurassic Park movie and the Coraline movie, but Ryan Condal and especially Sarah Hess aren't competent enough to make that work. It's just two arrogant retards who think they can write a better story than George R. R. Martin himself. You know Sarah Hess has admitted she hasn't even seen the original show, right? At King's Landing, Aemon's pissed off. Larys and Aegon snuck off. He thinks Alicent helped them, but she's just as shocked. The two talk and... I'm sorry, I thought this was House of the Dragon, not the writer's barely disguised fetish. Alicent convinces him to fly to Harrenhal, which according to her, has withstood dragonfire. She kinda forgot that Harren the Black and his sons were roasted alive there. At Harrenhal, the dragon seeds. Hey, wait a minute, shouldn't they be heading for the Battle of the Gullet? Who's gonna be fighting there if not for them and Jace? Apparently, Rhaenyra
plans to fly out
on Syrax alone, but Jace locks her in her room at the last second. Why does the Queen's room lock on the outside? And why am I trying to bring logic into this? Jace and Baela fly out to battle while Rhaenyra sees this. The Battle of the Gullet is watchable at least. We finally get to see Corlys the sea snake on a boat, and this bitch finally bites it, as does Tywin Lannister. That's a shame. I was looking forward to him advising Aegon III, even though the Blacks blinded and gelded him. That's assuming we even get that far. Why did they focus so much on him and his mud wrestling if he was gonna die in the first episode? On our way back from Dragonstone, Rhaena sees the battle and flies out to help, in air quotes. She couldn't control Sheep Stealer at all, so he starts burning down both sides. Jace and Vermax try to rein the two in, and that's when a ballista hits Vermax and drags him underwater. Vermax drowns and the Triarchy make a pincushion out of Jace. So yeah, this whole damn thing was Rhaena's fault. Jace on Vermax and Baela on Moondancer could have taken out the Triarchy on their own. The ironic thing is that in universe, Rhaena should have known how hard dragons are to control. She grew up around the most famous dragon riders, Daemon and Laena, for fuck's sake. Were they trying to turn Rhaena into the most hated character? It's a shame, cause Rhaena got a good deal in the books. She chilled out in the Vale and hatched Morning. After House Targaryen lost most of the dragons in the war, Rhaena was the last last dragon rider. Do you know what this all leads up to? Rhaena settling down with Garmin Hightower during the reign of Aegon III. Speaking of Aegon the Younger and his brother Viserys, they were supposed to be on the ships. I thought it was established in the Season 2 finale they were to be sent to Pentos. Aegon was supposed to have ridden back to Dragonstone on Stormcloud, his dragon that was shot with so many ballista. He died immediately after arriving. That incident scarred Aegon Dragonsbane for life. It's my headcanon the Maesters took advantage of it, and they talked him into poisoning the last dragon. Since Stormcloud is a baby in the showverse, does Aegon get captured with Viserys? I may have watched this episode buzzed, but I don't think there was a single shot of Aegon and Viserys. Did the writers just shit on their own continuity? I really think they kind of forgot Aegon and Viserys were supposed to be on a Velaryon ship that got captured, and that's why Jace flew out to rescue them. If Viserys never got captured, meaning he never married Lara, his
children,
Aegon IV, Nerys, and Aemon the Dragonite would have never been born, and from their line, Dany would have never been born. Yep, their own universe just imploded. If this is what we're getting quality-wise, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets cancelled before we even get to Sunfire roasting Rhaenyra. Sorry this review was so short. Not only did I watch this with several drinks, I found it hard to care about these people. It's like asking a Star Wars fan to care about anything in the sequel era. I just don't have the will to. I'll probably cleanse my palate after Season 3 with some Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. There's never been a more perfect time to start. I'd like to review that too once I brush up on my Dunkin' Egg lore.
Fuck you, you're a fucking wanker. We're gonna punch you right in the balls. Fuck you with a fucking anchor. You're all cunts, so fuck you all.